Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for X-Men Issue 1 2024. Ooh, that is a really nice looking cover there. Now, this one is $5.99. That is a higher price that we've seen for newer kind of ones. So, just understand that. This is actually like the first X-Men comic that I've gotten for myself. I'd had certain kind of other ones that dealt with the mutants before that I had, like, that my dad had collected or whatnot. But it's actually kind of cool. I'm like, okay, I've always been intrigued by the X-Men. Since Doctor Strange is kind of up in the air, I also kind of wanted to check this out as a potential replacement. It just so happens that Jed MacKay is writing it, so it's not that I'm attempting to just read everything that Jed MacKay is doing for Marvel or whatnot. It's just kind of happening that way. Let's see here. Now, the Krakoa era was pretty interesting, but not enough for me to kind of go in whole hog. I mean, they're going kind of nutty-doo-dah with all the different kind of X-Men books anyway, but I mean, the X-Men and the mutants are a pretty big pivotal team, so I understand that. And I understand people pretty much being frustrated that we're kind of going back to the usual kind of status quo with the X-Men, because Krakoa was interesting, where we had that whole island nation, we had Arakko and Mars and everything like that, and now we're kind of just going back to almost a square one, usual kind of thing. I do get that annoyance, and you kind of want different kind of status quos to take effect in certain kind of eras, so we'll kind of see what goes on for this, so I do understand being annoyed on that. Let's see here. We might add this to the pull list. We'll kind of see. I did like overall what went on with this. Now, granted, we see most of the team on this cover, and you're like, okay, the one that I usually get pulled in by is Wolverine and like Rogue and Gambit and everything, and you'll probably be like, then you should be going for the Uncanny one too. It's like, yeah, but I also wanted to see what this was kind of going to go off for. I've really been liking Jed MacKay's writing. Nothing against Gail Simone. I kind of also wanted to see how the art kind of flowed. It's mainly like, okay, we've got all of our X-Men across all different kind of books, so let's kind of see how this kind of works out. Because most of these, I'm like, okay, Cyclops, I like his style. It's weird to see Juggernaut here. We've got Beast, even though we know that Beast has got some really crazy shit going on. Magic, Psylocke, Quentin Quire, and her. I'm still trying to learn more of it because I'm not that much versed with all the different kind of mutants. So let's get into this. Pretty much bringing us up to speed on what's going on in the X-Men that we're following here. So we start off 20 minutes outside of Merle, Alaska. Well, X months later, here we go as we see the new kind of X-Men compound in Alaska, which art style, great. Holy shit. Hello, Chief Paula Robbins, Merle Police Department. I'm here to see Scott Summers. He should be expecting me. Oh, yes, fantastic. Just a moment, please. Cut junk. Hello, Chief Robbins. Thank you for coming. Come in, please. Don't worry about your boots. We're still working on this area. Dr. Henry McCoy, base director. I'm sorry about that, Dr. McCoy. That reaction, it's embarrassing. Oh, think nothing of it, Chief Robbins. Heteromorphic genetic expression can often be startling, and I'm quite used to it by now. Mr. Summers invited me to come and see what you have been doing here. Once the town calmed down after, well, you know, is he around? Well, as the commander of the X-Men, Scott has had to take the team into the field. Sounds dangerous. It's like, yeah, I like that kind of close-up of Beast there. And then we shift over to Santo Marco as we see how Scott deals and handles with his team, which this really is pretty interesting. Oh, I assure you it is. That Scott Summers is the most gifted combat leader I've ever known, and I was an Avenger. It's like, yep, glad that's being brought up. It's working its way into it. I like how different kind of things are being brought in as organically as possible, at least to me. You're shit, Summers. You're shit, and I never should have joined your fucking team. Please, Quentin, you've died more times than any other mutant. You should be used to this. Assault team. It's like, oh damn, that's a kind of burn there. As we get Psylocke doing what she's doing. I do, and this is where we start seeing really kind of effective use of color. It's like, all right, because we get normal kind of out there. We see things going on there with like psychic powers and everything. So then we shift to the back team. This isn't working. You keep picking rock. Of course I keep picking rock. I'm not a wimp. Problem is, so do you. Do I look like a wimp to you, Marco? Forget it, Magic. Same time as they're trying to pretty much figure out who gets to go first. It's like, okay, this is interesting, especially having Juggernaut like this. It's not as good as first, but it beats last. Just teleport us in. I'm itching for the fight. I said assault team. Not really a team if it's just two of us. Psh, two's all we need. It's like, Magic and Juggernaut? Yeah, and then I love seeing them blast out. It's just like, holy shit. We see the bullets bouncing off of Juggernaut. Execute Psychic EMP on all designated targets on my mark. Yeah, I'm working on it. You're an Omega level telepath, Quentin. Act like it. I like how Scott is firm, but not being berating here. It's like, alright, mark. And then we see all of these guys with X's on their heads kind of conking out. It's like, what the fuck? Marauder's autopilot is engaged. Window for a combat landing is going to be tight, so move swiftly. Roger that, Psylocke. Temper. Set us up some cover. Quentin, boot up the telepathic comms. It's like, ooh, this is really kind of cool, because now we're seeing how the team kind of operates and everything. It's like, oh, okay, that's really kind of cool, and we learned that this is Temper. I'm like, okay, let's kind of see what her whole deal is. Telepathic comms. That's really a pretty cool idea for a mutant team. Got it. Just have to play with the temperatures. And then she fucking blasts, and I love her, like, sound effects. Crack, crack. Oh, then we get this. Anti-air defenses are down. Outstanding. Let's get our people, X-Men, as we get this nice, cool kind of hero page with the little kind of panel up there, and then bam, them blasting out. Scott leading the way. So we shift back to Alaska. As you can see, our hydroponic crops are well underway. Crops? Yes, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, even potatoes. The factory affords us a great deal of space for our endeavors, and one of our number has discovered a talent for the agricultural sciences. Ah, there he is. Mr. Herman, the chief of police, was just admiring your work. Hi, and it's like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, okay. You're doing it again. I know, and I'm sorry. I love that she's like, what? I'm like, I'm just not that well versed with Herman. It's like, okay. We were all of us born different, Chief Robbins, born mutants, but regardless of our powers or our forms, we are people. People who wish to live, to thrive, to grow in the world. Not unlike our guardian here, in the face of the Alaskan cold. It's like, yay! This sounds like the beast that I'm more used to, other than the kind of beast that I learned was going on in the Krakoan era. It's like, oh shit. Fresh produce, huh? There's a lot of talk in town about what the X-Men are doing in the factory, Dr. McCoy. You've got to understand there's some hard feelings. A lot of people made their livelihoods here before the plant shut down. Yes, the sentiment that we are not unaware of. It's like, good to know. But then you're like, this is a Sentinel factory. It's not that we're not grateful for what you and your people did for the town. We are. It's just that times have been hard since the manufacturing stopped and the jobs went away. I suppose so. But I must say, Chief Robbins, manufacturing is a bit of disingenuous wordplay, is it not? This is where your people built Sentinels. It's like, yeah, I like Beast's face there. And then seeing the Sentinel bits, it's like, yeah, there's better ways. Now this was kind of confusing to me at first because of how the blue was done and how it kind of like, on my first read through this, I was like, who the fuck is this? I know that sound. Shut up. That's the X-Men. They're coming for me. And I wouldn't want to be in their way. Shut up. Shut up. There's no way they could have scanned here. Could know you're here. We scanned you for transponders and you're not psychic. Ha! I don't gotta be psychic, but Jean Grey, Emma Frost, Quentin Quire, Celeste, Esme, Mindy, Phoebe, and Sophie Cuckoo. I've been thinking pretty loud, bub. At first I was like, oh, is that Beast because of the blue? But it's Wolverine. The bub should have gave it away, but I'm like, what the hell are they doing to him? And it sounds like one of them has their ears on. I dug the data from his head with my psi knife. Pull it from my surface thoughts. Dive any deeper and you die. It's like, okay, that's interesting. And definitely being Psylocke's like, Quentin, you watch your ass. Facility maps courtesy of Psylocke, dumping them into the common knowledge pool. Hey, anyone know why these Orcus clowns are wearing our X? Did you seriously sleep through another briefing queue? It's like the Jean Grey school days all over again. It's like, oh goddamn, Vernon Quentin there. The most I've been pretty much exposed to Quentin has been like in Jason Aaron's Thor run. He like popped up in a random kind of spot. Look, I used to do a lot of kick, okay? My memory isn't what it used to be. And you're the one doing the stuff with the psychic memory stuff? I'm going for Logan. We'll rendezvous with, when you find our new mutants. And someone please catch Quire up. Orcus Remnant, Forest School. After the AI betrayed the human parts of Orcus, Force School spread like crazy through what was left. A mishmash of Orcus science propaganda and half-baked John Sublime U-Men memes. When you have Juggernaut giving you the information, good on Juggernaut, and you need to pay attention. Kane, I want you to know how proud I am of you right now. Teacher's pet. It's like, that's really good. Scott giving praise when praise is needed. And then seeing just how Juggernaut and Magic are not having shit. We've got a fucking Sentinel kind of popping up. Force School believes that the third species predicted by John Sublime is actually AI, and so they need to become the fourth species, a mixture of human, AI, and mutant. The good news is that they no longer hate us. The bad news is they want to become us by consuming us. That sounds like a goddamn big-ass problem. Ah, ha! When I kicked the shit out of you men at the Xavier School, you were all up in my grill, Summers. Look at us now. I win. Never let it be said I won't meet you halfway, Quentin. Yes. And since it seems to amuse you to have me repeat things you already know, 3 days ago we picked up 6 new pings via Cerebro, 6 new mutants here. Wolverine was in the area and I asked him to investigate. And then we received a psychic distress call. And now we're going to get them all back. And I like that close-up there with his energy kind of fizzling out of his visor like that. That's really kind of... I really love that art stylization there with his energy beam like that. And then seeing him work together with Quentin to blast him off that shield. That's cool. Back to Alaska. Look, you're not wrong. I didn't like that the town industry was building murder robots, and a lot of people thought the same. But now I have a town with a lot of folks with no jobs who have been hoping this factory would open up again someday, which very obviously is not going to happen now. First, Orcus automated it, then the Avengers smashed it. Now, I understand, Chief Robbins. The town of Merle and the X-Men are neighbors. You're trying to keep the peace. Milk? Sugar? Both, please, Dr. McCoy. I've got a sweet tooth, I'm afraid. Ah, as do I. Had I known you were coming, I'd have made my famous babka. You'll have to come by the diner in town sometime then. They do a cherry pie that'll stop you in your tracks. It's a date. So, you grow food and run rescue missions. Why here? Why Alaska? Because you seem like a smart guy, Dr. McCoy. This isn't the easiest place in the world to grow food and travel from. And seeing him, like, go through, and I'm like, yes. But the thing is, you're then utilizing the factory that was built for the murder bots. I'm not saying completely destroy it, but the repurposing that the X-Men are doing of it is kind of better. So, though granted, I think that they'll help and work with Merle to, like, do shit. Our agricultural endeavors are just one project that we're pursuing. But the long and the short of it, Chief Robbins, is that we're trying to build a life in a place that was good for nothing but death. And I agree with that, and I really applaud them for that. Sentinels built here a hand in the burning of Mykenes. We had an Eden, Chief Robbins, one that was taken from us. And so now we must find our place in the world all over again, and ever have refugees had to settle for the broken and unwanted places of the earth. I'm sorry, Doctor, I hadn't thought of it that way. This factory must be a far cry from Krakoa. I wouldn't know. Because this isn't the beast that has been on Krakoa. Excuse me? I'm afraid it's terribly complicated. Too complicated for the early moments of what I hope is a new friendship at any rate. I'll leave it at for my sins. And I like that it's like, okay, there's a lot of shit here to explain, so we're just going to leave it at this for the moment. You watch Wolverine and don't let him escape. Where's he going to go? I need an angle grinder to let him scratch his nose. Just watch him. Sigh, wasn't supposed to be like this. Wait, is someone... Oh, no. I like this as those guys are pretty much trying to, like, take Wolverine's organs and stuff, and then Psylocke pops up all sneaky like it's... Ah, shit. Playing the good little soldier? How many times have Cyclops and the X-Men failed you, ID? Why do you think I'm here, Quentin? I'm not going to let the X-Men fail anyone else. Besides, I didn't see my ex-boyfriend come to my rescue when they threw me into the pit on Krakoa. You were off doing war crimes with X-Force. It was complicated. Heads up, lovebirds. Trouble in paradise? Shut up. As we see, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty effective to kind of get us to understand what's going on. Temper is here pretty much to make sure that the X-Men don't repeat the sins of the past. Quentin and her have, like, trouble and shit, and Quentin was on X-Force. That's not good. As a Sentinel pretty much tries to smush their ass, and Juggernaut's just making fun of their relationship troubles. He's like, Juggernaut, watch it. He's right, ID. I did fail you, but you're right, too. That's why I asked you to be on the team. Cool. And I kind of like that shot of Magic with her sword like that. It just looks really cool. Looks like they've run out of robots and run out of guys. And they pretty much blasted the fucking head off the Sentinel. Outstanding, Juggernaut. We need to find our mutants and meet up with your old pal Logan. Good to see you, Slim, and the rest of you sorry muties. Give me a second, my healing factor's still knitting me back together. It's like, I love the handle on Wolverine there. Psychic alert from the Marauder. Bombers inbound. Local military scan for the new mutants, Quentin. Local military scan for the new mutants, Quentin. I'm trying. There's no kids here, but the X gene activates at puberty. And all my telepathy's picking up are adults. We then see a page of the adults blasting in. It's like, ooh, something's not right here. And this is our healer, Mr. Zorn. Pleased to meet you. A pleasure, Chief Robbins, and I must commend you. You are taking my unique appearance better than most. I've had a bit of practice lately. Yes, and she's pretty much been seeing everything like that. And I like how that goes, and then we're back on top like that. And we got another panel right there. Interesting layout choices. I wouldn't want you to think that we heteromorphic types are restricted to the factory, of course. Zorn's power is to heal. My true strength was never my mutant abilities, formidable as they may be. And the slime kid, Glob? Oh, his powers are useless. Damn! We're free to pursue our interests while our more martial brethren act in a more kinetic direction. The X-Men are not hiding our monsters, whatever you might think. Are you quite certain about that, Henry? It's like, ooh, shit. Who else is here? But then, perhaps our greatest monsters appear not so different from the humans, as we see Magneto fucking levitating in a chair. Hello, Max. I was just showing the Chief of Police our little operation. Magneto. She's going for her gun. Why is that, do you think? Because you're scaring her, Max, as was your intent. I didn't know better. I'd say that provocation was your mutant gift. Damn! Nice burn there, beast. Shift over. So am I so frightening, Henry? As someone who spent the better part of his teenage years worrying about you murdering me? Yes. I'm like, And look what a brilliant creature you've become. What all of you have become. It was fear of me that honed Scott into a leader, that made Jean strong enough to wield a cosmic power, gave Warren the strength to survive Apocalypse, gave Robert the strength to discover his Omega potential. Charles gave you steel, but I tempered it. I understand metal very well, Hank, and I understand metal. I was what you needed me to be. It's like, oh, fuck you. Stop taking credit for all that shit. And what do they need you to be now? Now I am the dragon. Henry has a soft touch. He always has. He makes the tea. He shows you Herman's garden, Zorn's healing. He puts you at ease. He wants you to go and tell all the other humans that we are friendly, that they have nothing to fear. It's like, yeah, Beast has pretty much been doing that so far. I am here so that you can tell them my side. I am Magneto. I have never been friendly, and I am to be feared. These are my children of the atom, and they will be allowed to thrive. It's like, God damn it. Damn it, Magneto. But it's interesting to have him on this team dynamic. I never would have thought of it like this. It's like, okay, that's kind of interesting. Holy fucking shit. I totally missed that. There's this whole kind of X-Mentions thing for the from the ashes. That's really kind of cool. And then like a checklist and everything. Nice. We've got like from the ashes. We've got Blood Hunt, World of X. A lot of different things. Ah, there's even like a questionnaire thing about like question of the month. Where did you first encounter the X-Men? I'm going to have to look at that, but that's really kind of cool. I'd recommend looking into this if you get this year. Psychics, what are we looking at? Cerebro Sive signatures match. They're the mutants, the same, the ones we came here for. Impossible. 6 X genes activating all at once in adults? Too slow, old man. Scanning. What? They're not Frankenstein graft jobs. They're real mutants. Wait, something's eating my thoughts. Who activates as an adult? We do, X-Man. The game's changed. It's like, oh shit. And I really like this because we got a regular panel, 2 kind of smaller panels, and then down here as we see the team getting affected by this. It's like, holy shit. So, where are we on saving them as we see this black hole kind of gravity thing happening? Listen to me. You know who I am. You know who we are. If you 6 are mutants, we have more reason to be friends than enemies. We don't need to fight. Oh, I don't know. I think we do. I don't think they're listening, Cyclops, as Temper pretty much dodges a blast. Too late. I'm out of patience. And she just fucking chops his arm off magic. It's like, shit. This Force School cell was a paper tiger, but we lucked out on the genetic material they had to offer. Look at them, baby. 6 viables. 3K hasn't had such a string of success since we began the great work. Can they defeat the X-Men, Mother? If you don't settle down, I will boil you. Youch! No. They were all spies and terrorists, but they are too new to their power. Already the X-Men are turning the tables on them. But since Force School reneged on our payment, Wolverine, I'm inclined to repossess the products of all our hard work. It's like, who are these mysterious people trying to create mutants like this? This is weird, but an interesting mystery. Let's see what we can make of these mutants as they then get teleported away, except for the arm, of course. Alright, let's get out of here before the bombs hit. Eliana, bring the arm. It's like, yep. So then they ship that, they're back to the factory on the ship. And for what? For what? For us, Logan, for our people. Slim, don't you ever get tired of losing the civilization game? Because after Krakoa, after the way the world's turned on us again, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I can't build from the beginning again. Damn, interesting there, Wolverine. And again, cool kind of layouts going on. You can't, Wolverine. You can't. Wolverine can't give up. I ain't giving up. Or maybe I am. Maybe I'm giving up on the parts that don't work. Maybe I never should have left the woods. That life I understood. Don't come looking for me, Slim. And we see Cyclops just standing there holding the arm, pretty much. Where in the world is Logan walking off to? My best guess, the U.S.-Canada border. Ah, the young mutants? A mystery. They were new, but they weren't young. I don't understand. Like, Magneto's like, I don't know. It's like, hey, hold on. Here, Hank. That belonged to one who looked like they had a pet black hole. Take a look at that and tell me how 6 adult Orchis 4th school agents manifested active X genes at the same time. Whoop! Yo, what up, Professor M? Tell me he will die on a mission soon. It's like, well, evidently Magneto doesn't fucking like him. The chief of police came by today. Damn, I had hoped to be here when she came, but maybe it was better you showed her around. How did it go? Oh, you know, I did an extraordinary job of putting her at ease, and then Max went and did what he does. How did you handle it? I did my best. All told, I think she left mostly favorably inclined toward us. Good. We'll need her. We're vulnerable here until we normalize relations with the town. Speaking of the town, I'm ready to start stripping that thing for parts if you can lend me Kane, Ilyana, and Quentin. No, not just yet. It's like, I do like that Cyclops and Beast are conferring. I want to be sure they don't forget what they owe us. And evidently, we see this Sentinel that was pretty much getting ready to destroy it. And I love the hauntiness of that page, as that's where it ends. As we see the little X symbol. So, we also then pretty much get a tie for the fan page, fan letters and everything. And here we go. The next issue, Invasion. The X-Men fly to the rescue of a mutant in crisis in San Francisco. The problem? Alien invaders seem to have a similar idea. 6 X-Men versus an invading alien fleet? Sounds about right. Oh yeah, that's a really boss cover there. So, I enjoyed this because I think this was a really great starting point. We get the understanding of the team, how the dynamics go into play. We get the understanding of the world without being completely and utterly lore-dumpy to the point where it's like, we already know this stuff and we don't need it, or this is so much stuff that people need to know. It's a nice kind of mixed handling, in my opinion. If you don't agree, I completely understand that, because if you've been going with X-Men and want Krakoa, this isn't it, and I would totally understand you not getting into this, especially at $5.99 and just the honestly strange dynamics of what's going on. You tell me this team makeup and not showing me how the team makeup interacts, I'd be like, what the fuck? It's mainly kind of like the Spider-Man issues that I've had. You're telling me you got a fucking Green Goblin-ized Spider-Man? That sounds stupid. And again, taken out of context and not understanding the workings of who's doing what for like the art, the writing, everything getting involved, it would sound stupid, but I love the kinetic action that goes on. I like that we got brought up with Wolverine and his understanding, which will lead us to his kind of plan and objectives, probably with the Uncanny X-Men, with Rogue, with Gambit, with Nightcrawler, Jubilee, all that kind of stuff. And having pretty much certain kind of brotherhood of mutants in this is just really kind of strange, but also interesting. Glob kind of got screwed over, and Mr. Herman, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool to kind of see what's going on. I do like that we do have an interesting kind of makeup with Magneto essentially being the Charles Xavier kind of figure, but instead of inspiring compassion and kindness that Charles did in certain kind of eras. He's more there to be like, you don't fuck with me and you don't fuck with my kids. It's like, okay. And I love seeing Scott's leadership style. It's more no nonsense, but yet he does praise things. I would pretty much, I know this is kind of weird, but Cap's like my favorite one. Now, granted, I do think that he's a little bit, well, he's more serious than Cap than I've seen him in other kind of stuff, but I've liked how it kind of reminded me of Cap, of how he's able to lead the group. Even though he's got like his certain kind of power set of his laser eye beams and his tactical ability to fight, it puts him in that kind of position, and I like seeing his different kind of, for lack of a better word, flavoring of how he leads his team, and how he praised Marco and gave him props for using his brain and being aware during everything that's going on with the briefings. And Quentin just seems like a crazy asshole, but yet a useful one. And Psylocke is a badass, and I'm very interested to see where this like Force School's going, being able to activate X genes in people, who 3K is, who those mysterious people were talking. I think there's enough sprinkling of understanding with this that you get a nice balance. You get the understanding of where the X-Men are, where they're kind of going, and what kind of conflicts they're up against, what kind of antagonists they're up against, and problems, what the whole kind of conflict is going to be going forward. It's like, ooh, okay, I enjoyed this one. Now, I would recommend it because I love the writing and I love the art. It just worked for me. But if you don't like Jed MacKay, you don't like Ryan Stegman, you don't like the price, I totally understand you being like, I don't want this. This is a big, giant initiative, and this is kind of the direction that they're taking. So we'll have to kind of see if any kind of course corrections would come along on any kind of other kind of bit, if that would be more along other people's likings or whatnot. It'll be interesting to see how this kind of works out. So mainly this is a nice one that I would keep in the pocket of what's going on with Doctor Strange, because we haven't gotten any kind of news on that one. Granted, I really liked Doctor Strange's character, and I like the mystical, supernatural sides. Granted, if I had unlimited time and unlimited funds, I would go for all of these ones to kind of see what's going on, understand these stories, and tease them out. But I don't at this point. So, yeah, I fully am happy that I picked this up. It's just really cementing that Jed MacKay has a lot of good handles on characters, and he's definitely one of the writers that I would like to follow around for different kind of stories. So yeah, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.